I really do.
Hello, I'm Eagle. Eagle Gardens, Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram. And this is fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 804. This is going to be a fun one tonight. We got a returning guest, Mr12n12, in our introduction to Earthcare, Earth Extracts. I'm sorry about that. Earthcare Extracts. There we go. Let's say it proper the right one time there. How you doing, fellas? You want to tell us how you're doing and what you guys are smoking now?
What's going on? What's up? What's up, Eagle? How are you? I'm so happy to be back. I have multiple names, right? So they call me Mr12n12 on Instagram. We'll go into it. We'll go into the whole thing. So right now, the way to find me is going to have to be at Mr_12n12.0. And that's the new account. So that's what we're at. You can find me at Mr12n12 on Twitter. We're trying to get our way over to Twitter. Eagle, I don't know if you're on Twitter, but I'm trying to because I just keep getting shut. What you find out really fast, and we'll get to it, but I'm trying to phase out of Instagram, but you can't, right? Can you? Let's face it, you really can't. And yeah, so here I am. Mr12n12 is me. On Telegram, you can call I go by Gabe, right? And then a lot of people know me as Tim on Instagram. So if you ever get a package, if you ever get a package from me, it'll say Tim Davis on it, and that's where the Tim Davis comes from. So
yes, sir.
Earthcare, you wanna say
sir.
hello?
What's up? Yeah, my name's Dalton Edwards. I am kind of the face of Earthcare Extracts. It's a little Instagram I've been running for a little over a few years now, I'd say. But at the end of the day, we just like to share our journey in cultivation and just share the passion, right? Share quality, be a part of the community, and share the love, and just show our cultivation journey and what it means to have just quality cannabis at the end of the day, you know. And you can find me on Instagram. That's really where I'm at Earthcare, EARTHCARE.extracts, EXTRACTS. That's my only Instagram, and I haven't been shut down yet. Thank you, and we'll knock on wood for that. But yeah, I actually found Mr12n12 right here through Instagram. That page has brought me to a lot of awesome places and has connected me with a bunch of amazing people that truly wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the Instagram community. And finding this man, we've linked together and we've shared genetics and we've built a really good relationship together. And it's just the beginning. We've known each other for maybe 6 months now. And this is that brother right here, bro. He truly does awesome shit. You're right.
It's got to be a year, dude. It has to be a year.
Yeah, you're right. We've been following each other for a long time. Since we met each other in person, it's been
6
probably
months
over
since we met each other in person.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Oh yeah.
And Eagle's Nest, I appreciate you for allowing me to come on this podcast, brother. At the end of the day, I love to be a part of the community in any way I can be.
So love to get to know the community. So you've been pretty busy, my friend. You want to tell us an update? What you've been up to?
Yeah, dude. I was just thinking. I was just thinking about it. For some reason, you popped into my head, and I thought about it. I remember, so I had to do it. So I remember being on the show, and saying, and just that we were talking about and me and Dalton have talked about this a couple of times. We share the same thing about forcing reality, forcing what you want in the universe to become a reality, and just going at your fucking dream so hardcore that there's nothing in the universe can stop you from achieving your goal, right? And I told you, I was like, I'm gonna have it. Have me back on in a year. And I should have gone back and watched it and tried to quote it the best I could, because it's been a while. I mean, it's been over a year. How long has it been, Eagle? Do you know? It's been over a year. I know that, but I told him, I said, I'm gonna run a big commercial facility and watch me. In under a year, I'll have it. And I'm not sure. I don't think when I was on last time, I don't think I had even been at my 50 lighter yet. So we ran the 50 lighter. It was not, I called the 50 lighter. It was 50 lights in the basement, 25 lights upstairs. Or no, 25 upstairs, 25 in the basement. And then he had like 8 or 9 20 light rooms, all HPS in Michigan. That was my first taste of Michigan. I don't think I was on the show.
We haven't missed the mark by that much, believe it or not. It was February 18th of 2012. So just a couple months passed.
2020. So
2020, I was gonna say
a couple months past a year.
2022. It was 22. Did I say 20? Oh, my
I said
bad.
2012, and I was like, whoa, 10 years?
So it was just,
No,
it's just over a year, right? Okay, so like, holy shit. So when you look back, it seems like it was a long time ago, but then also it seems like it was super, like went by super fast. I don't know. There's a lot of shit that's happened in that time, right? So had I been to the HPS grow yet, Eagle? Do you remember that? Or no?
No, I don't think you had been to the HPS grow yet.
No shit. Oh my God. Okay, so Instagram, right? I'm at now where I lost my account, but not the way that, like, I can't do anything the right way, right? So most people lose it by fucking striking out or whatever, or posted too much shit and they get, banned, or Instagram's fault. So mine is not that. I fucking 2-step authenticated my ass out. So like, right, I use Google 2-step authentication because I kept getting emails saying, are you trying to change your password? So I felt like someone was trying to get into my shit. So I 2-step authentication my thing. So it's Google 2-step authentication. So I thought that I could transfer key over onto my new phone. The only way to transfer the authentication key is to scan the barcode. Without scanning the QR code, you cannot transfer. So I wiped my first phone, got a new phone. When I tried to log in, I'm 2-step it's asking me for the authentication code or the backup codes. So I go to my Google, I can't find my backup codes. So Mr12n12 still lives. He's out there.
Bro, we can get that somehow. I know. I mean, it's possible.
So Instagram has no customer support. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. They use AI to verify an old video of you, which I've submitted at least 500 of the, I'm not joking. I did it every day for like a month and a half, a short video of your face, and they scan your face and say, well, we'll match that to videos that you've been in. Well, I tell you, they haven't done it. So there's no way to get it back. It's floating around. I have so many stickers. I did a lot of stickers. So I made 10.5-inch, 12-inch stickers, and I put them up in high locations all over the city. It's one of my favorite things to do because I don't paint anymore. I used to paint graffiti. We don't paint graffiti anymore. So I feel like in the middle of the night, being out there, it's as close as I can get. It's fun. I enjoy it. But they all say Mr12n12, God damn it, and I can't answer that email though. I can't answer those DMs. So now
Gabe,
we have. Now go ahead. So,
I was gonna say, I say one thing. You are the meme king, bro. Your shit.
so that's what I've learned, right? I like so many other things with this industry. You have to wear so many fucking hats. You have
You'll be able to laugh at yourself too.
You have to, but it's like I found more so than anything else for Instagram, memes. Relative real life memes are what brings you followers. It brings you what you need from Instagram. But I like memeing real life, right? So I love real life, real grower meme shit is the best. So, all right, so let's see. So look, Instagram, it's an evil, but it's a necessary evil, right? I wouldn't know any of you guys without Instagram. And my entire career has been based off of my openness with Instagram, right? And because of that absolute necessity for success, I feel like that it's like I give Instagram too much fucking power, way too much power. And as a result, now we're looking at the algorithm's real good at finding videos that are of me or close to me, right? So like they're telling me what I already know, and that I'm getting the dope. You know, you guys are getting these videos too, I'm sure, right? Or maybe it's just me. The dopamine release from social media, right? And from text messages and from answering, like how my brain is getting fucked up from all of the required dopamine and the dopamine intake. Social media is fucking me up, dude. I spend so much time in it trying to scramble back to my fucking 5,000 follower count that it's like, it's exhausting. But what my theory was when I created the account was the coalition between followers and like just ease, I guess, in the market. The intention was to create something that would bring me power in a market that I had no power, right? So it's true. Okay, I guarantee you look at anybody in my situation that runs so we're craft. We run small room, very, very exotic, the best weed we can get, and we run it very, very tight, crop steered. The very best weed we can grow, we grow small batch, right? And where was I going with that? There's a point. So you have to do all those things, and it's still hard. It's still hard to the point. Oh, here we go. You give anybody in my situation that's running a small business like that, that's trying to create a brand, that's trying to sell small batch based on themselves and essentially their themselves, their brand, and you give them a earned 25, 30,000 follower account, right? No issues whatsoever. I guarantee there's a relationship between your followers and the ease of product moved.
I would agree.
And that's not just product moved, but opportunities for whatever
opportunity
you want to do. Yeah. Whether it's consult, fucking grow big rooms, dude. I put my passion out onto the Instagram, and I got a 50 lighter. The 50 lighter didn't do super. I mean, so what I got brought on was for automation. So Eagle, these are crazy. The first one's crazy. So I met this guy, also from Chicago, good dude. I go out there, I teach him automation. I get his rooms all set up with Trollmaster. He's one guy going around and not hand watering. He's got drippers, but he's got to manually feed because he doesn't trust the timers. So he just spends all day 30 minutes in a room times 8 rooms. One man. I'm like, dude, you got to fix this. So I got him all automated. I put him on Trollmaster, and he got everything trusted. I was in charge of the basement, right? So there was 12 trays with 2 lights, so 24 lights down there. And there was all my phenos down there. I was like, I'm gonna be in charge of down here. Let me do my thing, and then I'll help you with all the other rooms. Let me be in charge of down here. Let me see what I can do. If you like what I do, then you do it everywhere else, because I was gonna show them how I grow, right? So I just started using Athena and shit, and we thought we had a pretty good program. So we ran the basement. We almost got finished with our first one. We killed it. We probably got close to a light. It was really nice down there. And then like the last 2 weeks, it got funny, as so many times it does in partnerships, where, you know, he said that he wanted to start flushing at beginning of week 7. And I was like, dude, we can't, I don't want to do that. I don't think it's good for the plants. You told me I'm in charge of the basement. Let me run my basement the way. I got 2 weeks left. Let me just finish it out, dude. I'll pay for the nutrients. I've been paying for the nutrients already. Let me just finish. So he got mad. He didn't want us to finish. And so we decided that we were going to have to take ours and leave, because I wanted to finish, and it didn't work out the way that I wanted it to work out. And half of that basement was supposed to be mine. So we were going to take our half. Well, he didn't like it. And I ended up getting a like 45 caliber fucking hollow point loaded, pointed at me, you know, and I said, listen, I don't want to die over, you know, a couple of trays of weed. This is silly, blah, blah, blah. I didn't die, you know. My partner, the kid I had that was there, was scared. He thought I was going to die. It was fucked, you know, it was scary. Almost died. So the only reason I know is he fucking cleared one in the chamber, and the bullet went flying, and I saw it when he left, and it was a fucking hollow point, like for sure on the ground. Like even if he hit me in the leg, I would have probably died, you know. So So we
You're
got the
funny,
U-Haul, and I took my work and we went and we took it down and we moved it wet, which is always never good to do. We had to move it wet. We hung it. I got enough to probably clear and maybe make a couple grand, you know. So thank God. Learning experience. We learned how to automate an HPS room. You know, we learned about a lot of good things about commercial. He taught me about bigger tanks and RO systems and low flow systems. He taught me a lot of shit that I didn't know. So the fact that I came out with the same money plus a little bit, it was like I got paid to learn and we were happy. And even though, so it was a 5.5 hour commute. And let me tell you another part of this story. So I had two brothers that were working there for me. The youngest brother didn't work out that well. He had a problem. I was sober. So Eagle, I was sober when I was on the podcast, wasn't I? Absolutely. I must have been. If it was less than a year ago, yeah, because I got 4 years. I got 4 years, July 24th. So yeah, it must have been. So we were all supposed to be sober. He was sober. He was drinking. And so when he started drinking, it kind of messed things up. And so then we hired his brother, right? This is nuts, bro. Listen to this. I don't know if you ever heard this or not, Dalton. So we're in downtown Saginaw and we're operating as caregivers. And, you know, we're over our count, right? Of course we don't talk about count. We don't talk about that shit. But we were doing it pretty big and it was nice. But it was in downtown fucking Saginaw, bro. Right across from this place. Saginaw, Michigan. It's close to Flint, right?
Okay.
It's right there, right in the middle. So there's this place. I don't know if anybody's listening. There's a place called Eagle. Do you know where Huron Fish Market is? You don't know where that is, do you?
I know where Saginaw is. I do not know where Huron Fish Market is.
Downtown Saginaw, bro. Okay, so we're down there. And so now the younger brother's left and I have the older brother there growing for me, right? And he's doing well, whatever. But so every 3 or 4 years, he'll have a manic episode and he's bipolar and he'll kind of lose it a little bit. And he had one a few months prior to coming up to work for me. So we're like, he's good for a few years. He only does this every few years. So we thought we had enough time. We thought we had a lot of time before he was going to go crazy again.
Oh my God, this is going.
So you know how it is, bro. Like the grow's going well. And sometimes in a new grow, things are going really well. And you get that kind of sinking feeling in your stomach, like, fuck, it's going too well. Like, fuck, this is so. Anyways, we were friends with the Huron Fish Co. It's a very, very, very popular restaurant directly across the street from the abandoned building that essentially we grow in. There's nobody there that lives in the building that we do. We got keys in it. We're renting the space upstairs, but there's nobody else. It's just like a corner building and we're growing massive amounts of pot in the basement. So anyways, the only people there's lines of cars to come to the Huron Fish Co, bro. People love this fish. It's very good. We're cool with the owners. I go in there and eat fish all the time. We talk with them. Everything's cool. So it's a 5.5 hour drive. I believe I'm driving home one day on my 5.5 hour drive. I get a call, boom, from the owner of the Huron Fish Co. And he's like, you got to do something. You got to do something here, buddy. You have to do something. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, go to my website, go to Facebook right now and go to Google Maps and search my restaurant. And I want you to go to images of restaurant, right? So I do. Inside the images on this restaurant is detailed pictures of my 24 light grow in the basement. They're posted on this guy's restaurant store. So I'm like, what the fuck? I call Austin. Austin's in Nolan. He's in an episode waist deep. So I got to turn around, 3.5, 4 hour drive. I drive back there. He's walking back and forth in front of my grow with just a reflective vest on. That's all he's got on, walking up and down in front of my stuff. I'm like, Austin, get inside. What are you doing? He doesn't know. He's like barely out there. He was drawing on the walls, all this crazy. I look at his phone. He had pictures in their phone. So sometimes Google went through this like period where if you were close to a restaurant or whatever, it asked you, do you want to post images? Like, were you just there? Do you want to add images to this restaurant? So I guess Austin, where he was, They asked him and he posted it. So he posted pictures of my grow to this restaurant. It got like 18,000 views over the weekend. The store owner
Best
was going
reviews
to
I've
kill
ever
me.
had.
I'm like, Austin, you got to go. So we had Austin leave. Before I kick him out, I'm doing a walk of the grow, and I look over in the corner, and there's this thing buried underneath like a little scaffolding that we had. It's a bird scooter. He stole a bird scooter and hid it inside of my overcount grow. And it's like, dude, those things have GPS in those things, dude. They're going to come back and get the scooter. You can't steal these scooters and hide these. He hid it inside of the grow, bro, like a ticking time bomb, GPS for them to come get it, dude. So we had to let Austin go. We barely made it out alive on that one. And we made it. We made it, dude. We made it out. So now I'm back at home. I'm regrouping. I'm like, we're never doing that again, right? And I put myself back out into the world, and we're doing really well. And I had set my buddy up at the grow store downtown, and I'm like, dude, stay. This is good for the whole team. You know, as people come in, you find out, right? So he starts talking to people, and this dude comes in and says, hey, we want to do a pretty good sized grow in Michigan. Who do you recommend to do the build out? He's like, my buddy Gabe. Boom. So he gets me in. So now here I am. I'm doing it. I just go and talk with these guys. It's a group of guys, and they want something done, and I'm like, I'll do it. So this one's 3.5 hours away. It's a beautiful location. There's a house on it. Dalton's been there. It's a good spot. It's a beautiful spot. It was just a blank shell of a building when we got there, and they needed everything, and we did it. It was me. My buddy was a pretty skilled electrician and plumber, and I'm a carpenter. And then I had I had my grower there. Ironically, the first kid whose older brother went crazy, the first kid was there with me. He was there. He did very well for a long time this time. He was sober. He did really well. So it was him, my buddy, who's now deceased. He died a few months ago. Him, and then my electrician / plumber, who's now in prison. So we started it. It was a good team. We did really well. 2.5 weeks it took us to build this whole thing out by ourselves. So we worked 16 or 17-hour days every day to the bone. We hung 104 lights. We plumbed 84 pots times 3 rooms. We set 3 48-foot long drain trays. We hung and plumbed all of the Trollmaster. We did all of the dehumidification, right? We plugged the air conditioners were there, but we wired them in to make them all automated, right? We put the whole thing in. We brought up all the genetics. When we bring up the genetics, here's part of this story. We're bringing up the genetics. We got the whole room about ready to go. We're going to bring up the plants. I have them all vegging in my house. It was all the plants that I've ever accumulated, essentially, right? So I had like 11 or 12 different phenos at the time. And we have about 450. I got this long bed Tundra, beautiful truck. I love it. So we fill it end to end with fucking domes, right? There's probably 50 clones per dome. I got like 9 domes in the truck bed. We're driving them up. We get stopped in Indiana because I got temp plates on the truck. Stopped in Indiana, bro. There's 4 of us in the truck. He pulls onto the truck. He goes, you got anything illegal in the car? I go, no, sir, absolutely not. He gets around. He goes to grab the pops in the trunk. As soon as he gets it down, he sees all the domes. He throws it back up. He goes, get out of the car. He gets everybody out of the car. Everybody's handcuffed. He calls the cop dog. The cop dog comes. They search the whole thing. They pull out all the clones. They got them all on the ground. He found like an ounce of weed. And Indiana's illegal, right? So Illinois is legal, Michigan is legal, and Indiana right in the middle is illegal. So I'm in Indiana. We got all these clones. We're fucked. We're waiting to fall. I'm in handcuffs. I think I'm getting locked up. That's it. The end of me. He's got me up there for like 45 minutes. And then he goes, so what's the deal? I go, listen, officer. I go, those are hemp. Those every one of those is hemp. Like you could taste everyone in. Not one of them will test positive for THC. I would never traffic THC through your state. He goes, what about the weed up there? I'm like, dump that weed. That's my personal weed. You know, I got a medical card in both states. Come on. He's like, all right.
Fuck that weed.
He goes, wait a minute. He goes, so there's no THC? He goes, no THC. He talks to his buddy. They both shrug their shoulders. He uncuffs me. Doesn't even kill the plants. Loads them back up. I shook his hand and I go, this is the first time in my life that I've ever been stopped like this and been free to go. I'm like, the day the times have changed. And I was like, I can't wait for you guys to be legal. When you guys go legal, you call me. I gave him my number. I was like, you call me. I'll set up a grow for you guys when it goes legal here. He starts laughing. The cop let me go. It was insane, bro. So I get all my genetics up there. We have a successful rip, right? We're doing pretty well. We ran into a few problems as any time your first rip goes, right? We tried to daisy chain some burners. If you're ever growing commercially, don't use fucking burners. Spend the money on CO2 machines. Do not use burners. We daisy chained burners. The back burner wouldn't kick on. Essentially, we pumped just a bunch of propane into all the rooms, almost killed all the plants. Like barely saved them, but we saved them. They flowered out. We got 50. I hit my numbers. I hit my numbers in the first room, hit my numbers in the second room. When it came time to dry cure, we did well, and then somehow we lost it. We lost a lot of smell. I think we had too many units together in a tote, and it just at some point we flashed our terps, and the weed was super good, but it just didn't have a crazy nose. And because of that, they said they couldn't move it. And this was like December of the year, and during this time my fiance is pregnant with twins. We found out we were trying to have baby. We had a miscarriage, and then we found out that we had twins. So we have twins pregnant with twins, and January 1st comes along. So January 1st, 3 a.m. I have twins. Jameson and Autumn are born. My kids. So that's crazy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So I didn't know the sex of the twins until they were born. And so it was really crazy to first have my daughter pop out and see that we have a girl. And then, a second and a half later, pop out and see that we have a boy. And that was crazy beyond belief.
Awesome,
it's speechless, right? Just incredible. 2 healthy kids. They are now, whatever date it is how many days they are, right? So they are 3 months and 11 days old right now. And they are a freaking handful. They are a freaking handful. I love them to death. They're everything. I have one son before these, and when you have more kids, it makes you love the existing kid more, if that's possible. I don't know how my heart got bigger for my 3.5-year-old, but it is. I have more love in my life because of my 2 new kids. So I'm so blessed to have them, and they are so much of a handful that it's really showing me patience. My fiance is a godsend. Without her, there's no way they would already be at the firehouse on the step for sure. Like I can go 2.5 hours with them and I'm done. And I'm like, I can't, I'm gonna lose my mind. So she's a beautiful angel. She's the best. So I have the twins. We had finished our first harvest. They tell me they can't move the flower. Shortly after, they let me go. So no gun to the head this time, but also not really getting paid. And they kind of I didn't get paid for the build out. I didn't get paid for anything. They still are using the facility. They're still growing, but I'm not there anymore. And so, it hurts. I talked with the main investor. He's going to give me some kind of compensation. I helped them to get like almost 104 lights for an 89% discount through the Michigan rebate program, right? And I helped him do that. So he's going to cut me in. He's going to essentially help me to get through what I need to get. We're starting to do. So I have my kids. I stopped doing that thing, and we don't stop ever, right? So then we just kind of transitioned, and now we have. I actually did the math today, and I'm controlling like 44 lights right now.
Yeah.
Across. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Like across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 spaces. Now, roughly 4 of those is I'm just guiding, right? So there's a grower there, and I just tell them what to do. But we do daily check-ins, and we're constantly changing and trying to upgrade our tech. So I love it this way. It keeps me extremely busy. We just kicked off our third one, and it's rough going. Let me tell you what, it's hard to control. So I'm trying to do a harvest every 2.5 weeks. So that's where we're at. We have 3 rooms consistently that is just me, that I do by myself. A 12, a 8, and a 6 that I do myself that goes every 2.5 weeks. And so I really like it this way. It's hard as shit as far as timing. Timing is so fucking hard, man. I had some plans because it's just you better be dialed before you set it off. Let me tell you, because without a dry room right now, I'm 2 weeks longer in a flower room, which made me 2 weeks longer in a veg room that was only supposed to go 2. And the difference between 2 and 4 is crazy. I had this thing. I got some pictures. This is one of the coolest things I ever seen. So, okay, along the route, we got some russet mites in the house and did a total reset at the facility. And it was very, very, very detrimental. I lost everything I've ever had. All my genetics we killed, and we completely reset everything. But like, as a door closes, another one opens, right? I have a really good friend that runs the clone department at Cultivated in Sacramento. So I called him. I told him my situation. He's like, bro, if you can get somebody out here in the next 4 days, I'll give you 400 clones at $13 a pop of compound genetics already rooted. They're expired. I'm like, let me see what I can do. I was able to broker the deal to get my friend flown out there to rent a minivan and then drive back with 400 compound genetics across 6 genetics. One of them was still unreleased. The purple milk had not even been released yet. So he drove those back. It took him 6 days because it was supposed to take 3 days, but he made multiple stops. He had situations. It was a nightmare getting them back here. Tooth and nail, finally got them. We're still running them. So that was one of the blessings that I got out of that deal, is I was able to walk away with the 6 compound. So we've been running the hell out of the compound. The reason I said that is I got this bedroom that's supposed to go 2 weeks. It goes 4 weeks. These cinnamon horchatas, they're sitting next to each other on 4-inch blocks, and a couple of them, they're only got one dripper. And so they get like a shot every 2 hours, and they got so big where this one started eating the plant next to it. The root system took over the cube next to it. I got pictures of it. It took over the root system and choked this plant out. And the root stalk, it like swallowed the life force of it. The root stalk on this plant is like this big. It's a freak. And 2 of the cinnamon horchatas did that to the lemon pastries, where you can see that it had taken over its cube and like sucked the nutrient. Like, it's pretty cool.
So you put different strains on one slab?
No, they're all in the same 4x8 on different 4x4 by 2-inch cubes, but they were in there so tight that it reached over.
Yeah.
So I have all these compound. We love Eddie. We love my. I'm not supposed. So we love my good friend that's Cultivated. He's a good guy. He takes care of us. I ran these compound. Before in this process, I had nothing. I reach out to my man Dalton, and I'm like, buddy, what do you got for me? He has been trying to get me to grow this TSA for as long as I know him. You got to grow it. 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 And I'm like, dude, all right, we'll check it out. I got a room. I just took over. I don't have anything. Here, boom. Immediately, he sends me out like 120, 140 clones. Run these. Just as pure love, bro. Just gives them to me. So I'm like, all right, cool. I take them, I throw them in my room. 2 weeks later, I get the compound. So they ran in the room next to the compound. And the compound gear that I have, supposedly, I believe them, is part of like 500 to 800 to 1,000 plant pheno hunts and then tissue cultured moms. So we're dealing with a very, very high caliber of genetic quality that I'm running in the room. It was the TSA against the compound, and I didn't do the best job growing it. I mean, there was hiccups and a few things, but the TSA shined so well through that is initially kind of what even sparked this whole podcast of us coming on. Is I told him, he's like, listen, we got to talk about it. It's such a good strain. It gave me some of the best numbers I've ever had. The terps on it are incredible. he pulled it from a bag seed, and it's really a special plant. I think you, Dalton, are more special than the TSA is, and it kind of is part of you in a way, but you are a lot like me. You're a lot like Eagle, where it's kind of like, if you talk to us enough, you spend enough, like more than 15 minutes with us, you could tell the most important thing in our life is cannabis. And
For
you're
sure.
like that. And so we've kind of bonded over that. This man came out, and I told him I was struggling out at my farm. He drives out and helps me he's like, oh, I'm going to be in the area. Boom, like 9 hours of free labor for me. Just no one would help me. He shows up with his buddy, and it was a fucking angel from heaven. He brings me clones. He brings me 9 hours worth of labor on my grow. Like, I could not ask for what you've done.
Pretty
You've
awesome.
been a huge help for me. And just like, he's one of us. He's one of us, Eagle. He's a good dude. He shares all of his shit. He's down there with, like, I got respect for the cats in the rural areas, because, like, it's harder for you guys in the rural area, Doug. I know. So, Dalton, go ahead, bro. I'll let you talk for a little bit. I'm exhausted.
No, bro.
That's it, Eagle. I mean, shit, what a crazy weed life we live.
It's worth it. It's a labor of love for sure. Awesome. And you, brother, it's good looking out for another fellow grower there. And we know some of the best people I've met, and this is sincere, man, I've met in the cannabis community, and almost like you there, Gabe, have been blindsided. You know what I mean? Didn't even see that shit coming. Smiley, in my case, Smiley's garden there, you know what I mean? He was one of those guys for me, a huge asset I didn't even see coming. And you know what I mean? And some friends you just gotta cherish, friends like that. So cheers to you, brother. Welcome to the front show. Good for you for, looking out.
Eagle, thank you, sir. Thank you. And that's just what it is, man, at the end of the day. Like, I know it's cliche, but treat others like you'd like to be treated. And I'm young, and I've heard a lot of this, this industry, the market that it's originated from. It's just the streets and drug dealing and all that. It's got a bad rap, and the people who not work in it, but have originated from it. Like, it's not, you get weary. People say you work in this industry or you grow, and they're like, people get those feelings, but it's just at the end of the day, like, when you got a good heart and you're a good person and you want to help others out, or like Gabe, when you're around people who are passionate about the plant, like, you can see it in them, and it's just help. When you love what you do, that's not work. It was nothing for me to get there and help that man where he was working at. Help him move some clones, pluck some rooms, line up some whatever, plug some clones, and just giving him some clones. So it's all out of my heart, bro, because and I appreciate you, Gabe, when you say I'm almost as special as the cut itself. Like, and you were telling me the other day that you could feel it when you were growing that cut, like the specialness of it. And I appreciate that. And Eagle, I don't know if you got a little personal garden, but we're gonna have to get you some cuts too. It's fun. It's a great strain to grow. It drinks. It loves light. It's a frost factor. Gabe, tell us a little bit about it, man. Tell us what you thought about growing it, what you thought about the structure, the terps, what you thought, how it compared against those compound genetics, because I gave it to you because you definitely had ran the biggest room of that, because, us down here in the rural, central Illinois, we're just, running smaller rooms, basements, 5 lights at a time. My mentor has showed me some DWC methods, staying within plant count, growing 5 lights, 5 plants, 27-gallon RDWC, and just growing trees, pulling about 3+ a light, underneath that medical card. It's like, but yeah, Gabe, what would you think, man? Tell me some more. I know we've already discussed about it, but more so for the show, like, your overall thoughts on the strain and what you thought, how it performed in the garden. There's a lot of things, it's pliable. You can really maneuver it underneath the trellis. It's easy to pluck.
I think you're muted there, brother.
she's great. So oh, I took over this room. My buddy had this room, and the guy that was there had been growing a long time been growing there. And I think the bulbs were probably like 8 or 9 years old, bro, for real. The HPS bulbs were really, really old and shitty. So I didn't realize it until after about week 3. So we got a really, really good stretch on most of the plants, which is why it's like I'd like to see him look at it again. I always want to see him again. But that TSA, it stretched. It had big internodal spacing, and I thought we weren't going to get too much out of it. I was able to change the bulbs in the middle of week 3, right? And so she started going, and very dense, good structure on it. And then it was super easy to get really, really high quality out of it, which is what we have to have. And if you know, I mean, we all know in this game, I love it. I love where we are. But if you would, I mean, even when I was on a year ago, and you would have said the weed that I was growing then compared to the weed, the competition to be fire, that the level of quality is so high now that it's like you can't really afford to do error. You can't have any error at all if you want to be like top shelf AAA, right? So that TSA brought that for me with me making mistakes. It still was able to give me exotic bag appeal, to it's gas, so you're never gonna go. I can't fucking go wrong with gas. It yielded super well, super dense frosty buds. It's great. I love it. I think crop steering is a big part, right? Crop steering, and then Athena's really been pushing the fade, right? And I listened to them. I listened to their research. When I was doing it without fade, when I was growing without fade, my plants that I know to go purple weren't going purple, right? And so I'm pushing 3 OEC to the end, but I'm feeding it's too much nitrogen. That's what we're deciding, right? Too much nitrogen in the root zone is causing my plants to not finish, not ripen, and not push anthocyanin, right? And so when we added the fade, now it's strictly pushing calcium, and the plant has to translocate the nitrogen from inside the plant in order to keep sucking it up and to use it. And so we get a really nice fast finish, and trichomes are up, but more importantly, terps. It was hard. I was worried for a while, but yeah, I mean, you notice terp. You can't lie about terps in rosin, and so we've been pushing rosin a lot, and it's really fucking terpy. So I love where we're at now, and let's see. So I mean, I love it. I love where we're at. I'm smoking TSA right now. I love smoking it. It's very, very good.
It is a very good high. So when I originally found that seed, I was like on my 3rd run in like a little 4x4. I had just started like kind of doing indoor stuff, and like I had walked down, probably like this is week 5 or something. I walk into the basement and I just get hit with this insanely strong gas smell. Something that legit, it brought me back to like when I was in college. And I mean, I'm 27 now, so like college was only like realistically like 9 years ago. But it definitely brought me to like one of the first times I had, well, honestly, kid on my basketball team had like, he's like, man, I got this cookies, right? This is like 2015, 2016. And that was some of the best we'd ever smoked in my life. Like at the time.
2016 was a good year for fucking weed.
Yeah. And when I had found it from an 8th I bought off the street from my buddy here in town. It was a 1/8 of Sun Goku, and I bought an 1/8 of Root Beer Float. Both, and I was dabbing at the time, probably CRC. And it was just hands down. It was hands down the frostiest weed, the prettiest weed I'd ever seen. And when in the smelliest, and when I smoked it was the best. But when I'm looking at the Sun Goku nug, I'm like turning this nugget, appreciating it. And I see this like one seed popping out, like just ripened, like just pure tiger stripe. Dude, I flicked it out with my finger and I held it. I'm not joking. I've said this 100 times. And I went upstairs. I'm pretty sure I got on my knees and I said a prayer. And I was like, I had my like second indoor tent going at the time. And I was like, if you can be anything like what I just pulled you out of, like, we gonna make it. You can be it. Like I like I said, I planted the seed, and when I went down to the basement in week 5, it was just the gassiest smell I'd ever. It was already frosty in like week 3, and like I just had such high hopes for it, and I was just like, please be female, and it was. So I took 6 original clones off the mom from seed, flowered the mom from seed. Then from those 6 clones, I think I busted a whole tray of like 40. And it just kept growing from there. I made sure I had it on deck, and.
So
but yeah,
how old
I guess
is it?
it was.
How long ago was that?
That was 2021, like June, probably July. I planted the seed. End of June, early July is when I planted the seed of 2021. And since then, like I said, they kind of say it takes a while growing a clone out from seed to see it's like full everything and what it has to offer. And yeah, just in all, it spits out straight frosty ass nuggets. You can get purple if you drop the temps, but you can also keep it. It'll stay green. You can see it wants to go purple. You'll see in LED rooms it'll get purple fan leaves.
Oh yeah, she fades purple for sure.
But yeah, like I said, guys that I've given the cut to, it's yielding for them too. I think it's the no larf, man. It's the solid nugs from top to bottom.
All the way to the bottom, yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, I can't thank you enough for growing it, man. Everything you've had, like, just that day you called me, I had the biggest smile on my face. I was in one of the gardens, and
yeah, I mean, I think I might have talked about it last time I was on, but I'm really addicted now to. There's a feeling that you get from just above and beyond exotic weed, like the weed that you're like. It makes me, the way I describe, how I always describe it is like, you got something good, but you don't know what it is, but there's something in the back of your mind that makes you happy like all the time. And then when you remember what it is, you get extra happy. Yeah, really, really fucking dank weed does that for me, but it has to be, you can't trick yourself. If you don't got it, you don't got it. Right. I believe that there's a term probably going around Michigan that I'm not sure who coined it. I know fucking, Mitt and Master use it all the time, but it's like he says, "What's smoking?" Right? So like, it's not really what's smoking, or it is what's smoking. I guess that's probably the best way to describe it. But when you have weed that it's like fun to trim, almost where it's like you get excited to trim it because you know how fucking fire it's gonna look once it's done trimming, and it trims super easy and it's dense, hard bud, and it's like,
yeah. So that I guess you should.
I'm addicted to that, man. I'm addicted to like I get depressed if I don't have a bunch of totes that's just like super beautiful, like just makes you excited when you look at it weed. Then it's like
you dread trimming then, right? but that's what I have to say about the TSA is how it got its name. So it came from Son Goku bag seed, and even Son Goku is kind of a hard name to come around or define. It's hard because the guy that we believe it came from, his name was Saiyan Seeds, and his Instagram exists, but his last post was like in 2018 or 2019 or something.
Yeah.
So he's not really kicking around anymore. He might be under a different name, but it was Son Goku is what I called it, Son Goku bag seed, for a couple to a few runs. And this is February of 2021 after like it was my second pull down of it. Still really no name, still bag seed. I was listening to a First Smoke of the Day podcast, and one of them, it was a podcast. It was one of the episodes where they were just talking about like really owning your shit. And, like if you truly believe what you got is good, like taking it and running with it. And so I was like, man, I should name this. I should create something from this. This shit's fire. And it's definitely the most fire. And I haven't been growing the most phenos and strains in the world, but just in my 8 to 9 years of consuming, that definitely is, in my opinion, some of the gassiest weed I'd ever smoked. So I was like, and then the way it grows, Gabe, like it plucks easy. When you trim it, it fucking trims easy.
Super easy. Yeah, it's a grower's delight for sure. definitely.
So,
It runs a little long. I mean, it doesn't. You can.
Yes.
I pulled it at 70. It probably could have gone a little longer, which is a little bit hard. But
I think the nug
it's very
density
brittle.
makes up. I think the nug density makes up for whether you want to pull it at 63 days or if you maybe want to try to push it, that 10-week mark. But I think at that point you're just maybe looking at the fade and how maybe strong or sedative it could be and terps at that point essentially. But anyway, so I'm trimming it and I'm listening to this podcast and I'm thinking like they're talking about checking boxes and what checks boxes and what makes a fire strain, like terps, white ash, whatever it may be, bud structure, who knows? And I'm just like, man, checking boxes. I'm just trying to think of something that someone that checks boxes. And the first thing that came off my mind was like, I'm thinking of export security.
Like, I think number one, one or two, trimmability is like one of my boxes. Like that's like 1 and 2, 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was just
super depressing.
Very much so.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, my friend.
No, not at all. I was just kind of explaining how we got TSA and
so checking boxes, right?
And just like airport security, yep. And that's how I landed on the name.
I love it.
That's pretty much it. Something simple, but
yeah.
Hopefully the people enjoy it.
That's awesome.
I love it. So, I have people that's like, it's got to go through. I know when I smoke, usually, I just finished so we've been running a lot of Bean Fiends gear. I'm super excited about my future Bean Fiends experience.
Yeah, who is that? Master and Mobile J?
Master and Mobile J's. Yeah, collab.
That's awesome.
And so we ran the Sherb Cake times Oreos, and it's for the first time in a long time, I really feel like it's got legs. Like I smoke it and I feel like I can stay high for longer than fucking like 35, 40 minutes. But it's
about an Oreos cross?
Yeah. Yep. It's the Sherb Oreos. It's not much longer than an hour, but it's, it's close to an hour I could stay high. Oh, we really like that one too. Let's see. We're trying to keep it. Everything we're doing is growing, right? I love the automated. I love automated, and then I'm really becoming obsessed with. We're gonna try to start doing the dosatrons. We're gonna try to run dosatrons next, but I feel like I just have. This is these things are. I used to hate them, and now I love them. Right, so the IBCs.
Can you see that?
These are 250s.
Yeah, that looks good, man.
Going on a big one.
So is it 90? Are you smoking 90? Are you smoking a range? What do you
got? So believe it or not, so my TSA out of my guard and all the screens were just so clean. I actually took them all and still smashed like 79%.
So it's an everything. What we call that
25 up to 160. Yeah, 25 up to 160.
Damn. So I'm just curious,
as a hash maker, I wonder, obviously most of the head size should be the same, or you should catch most. But do you think the wide variety like that is like just like more immature trichome heads within the buds being developed is why the range, or is it more like stems and pieces as you get further down?
They say it's stems and pieces in there too. You can look at it underneath a microscope, but you'll see some premature heads in there for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I believe that's why you still will get some return if you press those screens. But maybe it's because maybe the stalks will juice too. I guess I'm not most 100% sure, but let me pull this.
Dalton makes them super, super good hash. He's a very good hash guy, and
I'm still learning, but thank you, man. Seriously, thank you.
Yeah. Your peers speak to it. What are you, Eagle? Have you gone to the dark side yet? Are you dabbing rosin?
Occasionally. I have had
When you-
my back and forth with dabs. You know, I might add it for a month or so solid, and then I back down for my
Yeah.
flower.
Yeah,
I'll always stick to my flower. That's will be a staple forever.
Fucking A.
Eagle, how do you like to smoke your flower? Joints?
Yeah.
So you smoked a donut
Bongs.
before?
Yeah.
The hash holes, man, those are interesting. Have you heard of now? I know you've heard of the hash hole. Now, have you heard of the hash roll?
What's a hash roll?
The hash roll, my friend. I just kind of got put on these
It's on the
recently,
outside.
too.
You cut it up.
Yeah.
And eat it like
Well, it's what you can do. Guys are taking their either some nice 150 from the trim bin. They're using that. I got good old scissor hash. Or they're taking their food grade bubble, their 25 and 45 screens, and they're literally rolling them out to thin, paper, and they're rolling it, and they're making these cones where it's just
all hash on the outside.
Yeah, rolled with a glass
like
tip, man.
Fucking fruit roll up a hash.
Exactly. It's exactly what it is.
I love it. I love it.
How does it smoke? It smokes slower than anything, and you don't even have to ash it. Honestly, it burns.
I can't even imagine.
You should. I'll send you on Instagram some of these pages. These guys I follow. One of them's down in St. Louis. A couple of them are, man. This is
you better have like an hour and a half to kill.
Oh man, I like to think. Take this for face value, but I like to think I've got a nice hand in that tech right there, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you go back, there's actually pictures of me at the hash bash 8 years ago, probably easy, smoking a hash rolled blunt. Same thing. Rolled it out Frenchy cannoli style into a blunt.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So you're not new to this.
No, I've been preaching this for quite some time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But now it's just more like, go ahead, Gabe.
It just seems
no lie. So you can that's something you can look up though. You can my Eagle Gardens one account. If you scroll down there, you can find a nice picture of me with the TGA guys holding up fucking big fat fatty that I'd rolled in a blunt wrap. Yeah. Okay.
That's what's up, dude. That's what's up. Eagle bringing it's like I've been smoking those things for 8 fucking years. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I haven't even smoked one before. I'm really 420 is going to be my first time smoking one.
It sounds just like, I don't know that, so that's, I think I've gotten the privilege once before, but I was already so high that, I don't think so. I want to do temple balls. I want to get into that. It's like, I need someone to take me on the temple ball trip, dude. Like that's what I'm after. Smoking some hash.
Hey, Gabe, you just take your bubble hash and put that in your hands and ball it up.
Yeah, there's a better way to do it.
It's oddly enough, you mentioned that. I kind of went talked a pretty good process a lot that last night.
Were you?
Yeah. And again, kind of throwing out some tech that ain't even out there yet, but I think it'd be fucking amazing. Somebody can steal that shit, but they can at least give me credit for it when they do.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to tell us. But I mean, that's what
Eagle.
That's what I meant.
You got some tech. You got some tech on what I just said. Taking the bubble and balling it.
Supposed to be like more of a spiritual thing, from what I understand. It's not just like willy nilly. Like me and you got to sit down and talk about it. You understand? Like it's more than just like for the hash boys, from what I understand. I'll
repeat it for you, brother, just because I've talked about it before. Well, like I said, I said it last night on the air. So basically, the tech I'm was talking about, I think it's an amazing idea. So if you fucked around with hash and you're trying to make a hemp temple ball, if you're like working Frenchy cannoli style, where you're familiar with the wine bottle, the hot water bottle technique, right? So you can take that basically, I think somebody needs to come up with an old school dough roller. You know what I mean?
Oh man, why did I have that 2 nights ago? We were talking about heated
So,
electric.
Yep, heat it up, make it, because there's technology now to where you could actually make a cradle for that. Set in a charging cradle, so it has, you know what I mean. It's charging
Yep,
itself
that's so
wirelessly,
funny.
no cord, and then you'd be able to control that fucker with your phone.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I was just telling my mentor this 2 days ago. That's great.
Dude, strain dependent. It's and I don't doubt that, brother, because I believe I don't know. I believe
Well,
that
you
it's
want to
all
talk
out there.
so
It's all
so
out there,
look,
It's already
basically.
out there. Look up a
It's
heated,
just like
hook a
it's
electric
kind of
heated
like
dough roller.
no,
so
well, probably.
I
But
don't
I'm
know
just
if what
saying the ether. You know what I mean? Ideas like
no
that
no no
are
look
in the
look
ether,
I
and they're
can
kind of just
Yeah.
I can
Someone's already making
contribute.
it right now.
I
they
can
fall
contribute.
out.
Look, I'll tell you why. This is how I know what you speak of is possible because I just found this. I just saw a video the other day. You guys seen that fucking box that self levels? Tell me you've seen that shit. It's a
Mm-mm.
square box and it spins on the inside. It's got a motor on the inside. It's all like it spins and it's got a center and it pop and it'll spin it and it bang. It'll put itself up on its corner and it perfectly self balances itself like every time. And it'll stay balanced forever. So you can knock it off, throw it, and it'll no, it spins up on the inside, and the centrifugal force, and it pops, it stands it up perfectly balanced, level, centered, like beautifully. So if you can do that, that's just the same motion, essentially. Just move it off off a rocker.
Mm.
I don't know. Very cool. Very cool.
No, that's so. Honestly, how I wonder.
Have you been seeing the automated hashtag that where I've just barely, briefly been seeing like it looks like closed loop hash washing, like overhead pipes running cold water for some reason. I mean, that's a road I would like to venture down.
The closed loop hash.
See, I mean, it's not. That's what it looks like. I don't know what it is, but
Right, I'm just grabbing a water right now, or a tea, I should say.
I got some. We got the purple milk and glitter bomb running in the room behind me.
Yeah, how's everything going out that way, man? You got the
Good,
compound
good.
genetics busting
Everywhere. Yeah, I really it's so veg is so important. So look, I love these reses. They're 250 gallons, and I have it so one runs out in roughly 11 days on the 6 liter, and so the other one can batch for another 11 days. And so I only got to fill the reses 3 times for the whole grow.
Look at you. Look at you.
We were pretty excited about that. And
I still hand water.
that's what's up.
That'll change soon, though.
I like to hand water myself. It's an intimate part of the process. You know what I mean? Not all of them need to be watered at once.
So, so when I'm thinking, so I hand water my mom's, right? And I really I give them 2,000 milliliters at a time from a pitcher. That's already I got a batch tank and then I take it. But it's so good. I really like giving them their 2,000 at a time, right? I don't know why. It just feels really good. It's satisfying to hand feed 2,000 milliliters to a plant that really wants it. I don't know. There's something going on there. Can you speak to that, Eagle? Use a wand.
I had a pretty good idea about a hand watering device. For guys who hand water to get an accurate amount. Imagine like a screw on top to a hose, and it was just like a little module, almost like a little pump on the inside where you can a digital timer. You can set how many mils you like to disperse out the wand, and then when you just click it, it's like a little. I mean, not
Well,
like
how does it
you know,
know
you
when
just,
to shut off? What's telling it how many mils flowed based on time?
Yep, you count how many, that's the way I've always judged it myself with the wand.
Yeah.
Is like you just take a gallon and whatever you're using, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
and whatever it takes for that gallon, you kind of count out to your plant or whatever you.
You know what
Is the way I've done it.
Grandmaster level taught me? Is we use the fucking swim timer or whatever for laps. And so it'll go bum, 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 bum. Like on the fifth one.
That's
So
gotta
then
be
you know
so.
no, it's soothing. I don't know. I like that. It makes me feel like I'm competing or something. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. It was cool. My buddy had one that was really annoying. I didn't like his countdown ringer, but yeah, I that's why I don't. That's why I'm waiting. That's why I won't go Dosatron yet. Is because if I had Dosatron, I wouldn't go to a spot for 3 months. Like you got to walk the room still. You have to. If you disconnect from the plant, it's not going to be the quality that you want. I think that's a big part. I mean, it's easier to control tents, right? Than I think bigger rooms, but I think the connecting with the plant is because I did it. I mean, we just ran the 104 light commercial. I didn't grow it any different than I grow my small rooms, except for more human contact. I swear they need it. It maybe not even contact, but I think being around them, you could not touch them and be in the room and talk to them, and they'll still know you're there. They'll still grow better. I'm telling you.
I would agree.
And you know what else? I read this somewhere. Like growing weed from a socially conscious human is fucking better. People that like are centered human beings, who are toxic, like emotionally and just like in their life, you can taste that in their weed.
The plants sense their negativity.
I swear that I swear it does. And I feel like I'm guilty of that sometimes too, right? Like if I try, I think I talked about this last time I was on here because I get real woke, I guess, when I when I come on here for too long. But when you try to force the plant too hard to do what you want, it don't come out right. It comes out good, but the best weed I've ever grown is when I have guidelines that I follow, but truly I'm just trying to take care of these fucking beauties, you know?
Yeah.
That's a test in patience, I guess, as well too, right? I just want to fucking force feed the shit out of them and hammer them with light, you know, and
yeah,
and scream at them, be super fucking dank, you know, and that don't work.
You hurt their feelings.
There's a lot of truth to what you're saying there. A lot of truth to what you're saying there. That's 100%. I think that's why today when people go to dispos, they buy good weed. It looks good, smells good, doesn't get them high. It's lacking that large scale interaction that like you're talking about right there. I think that's what make dank is that interaction that you're talking about. Yep. And it's amazing that you say that because that is so true. As the plant is a biomaterial of the soil, it's a biomaterial of the soil too.
Yep.
So you're exactly right. Even if you as a grower fucking can on a home scale, even though it is hands-on, just like you're saying, if you can put forth an amazing looking flower, but it just black, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To where if you were in that same garden putting off that great vibe, you know what I mean? That's why
it transcends into the fucking finished product, man. God damn if it doesn't.
yeah, it's like one of those things you really need to shake that shit off at the door before you enter your grow room, because I
For
believe
real.
plants do pick up on that shit.
They do. But and the thing is not only do they pick up on it, but I think you nailed it on the head with leave it at the door, because check this out. If you can leave it at the door and you come in, even if it's under the wrong pretenses, but I'm trying to force my happy, I bet you leave happy. You know what I mean? The plants will give you back what you give them, right? So if I force myself to be happy and I go in there, but I'm faking it, kind of, the plants like fucking will give you back that positivity. And now I'm walking out of there happy as shit. I've done this countless times. I notice this a lot when I'm spraying, right? Because a lot of times I don't want to spray. I'm lazy and I'm like, I don't want to go in there and spray right now. And maybe it's the human brain completing a task that it's like me flexing my ability to display discipline, and I'm working on that, right? So maybe I'm getting gratification from that, but also it's like, I swear, doing that task and then being around them when it's dark, it's good for them, it's good for me, and there's a lot of positive. When I force that positivity, some of the best, I feel like maybe not the best, but maybe some of the biggest emotional flip-flops from maybe a melancholy or average day to just bursting with potential and emotion. I always say that my plants give me potential, right? I'll go in there, spray them, and I'm walking out a different man. Like, the fucking day looks brighter. It's weird. That's weird, dude. I'm noticing that. I have these revelations on this show, bro, where I just like, it's like therapy, I tell you. It's good shit, man.
I think that's why it's important that everyone has, that's why I go to my garden first thing in the morning. It gives me that energy that gets the rest of my day going. It sets
it's
the tone.
Routine for you. It's routine for them, right? It's a meditation of sorts, right? Giving them that little bit of nurture, like I gotta manually change my AC. I might not even fix it, dude. I might just make it so that every morning when I gotta, I come out and I flip it from hot mode to cold mode, and then it's like, now I can start my day. I go get my coffee, and I'm always trying to do self-help shit, right? So I'm trying to better myself. I feel like I spent so many years as an addict tearing my life apart that now I'm trying to drastically playing catch up or whatever, right? So we're lightly microdosing the mushrooms. Just my buddy got me some, and so we're doing like a 0.3 every third day, but I'm not holding myself to a regimen where it has to be every third day. So like I take a few days off and then every third day I'll dabble. I'm getting better sleep, maybe a little bit more energy during the day. My favorite is when I forget, and then I feel like when I smoke, I get like a little bit more of a body high and maybe a little bit slowed down. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's right. I took my mushroom today. So we really like that. I exercise a shitload. I'll tell you what's been a fucking uphill battle, dude, but I'm kind of excited about, because I'll get it, is the fucking cold showers. Get the fuck out of here on those hard, dude. Holy shit. Eagle, you ever tried cold showers, man? I guarantee Eagles get mastered it. I bet you he takes fucking cold baths. I watch.
Oh, I know, no.
I've taken ice baths, but
I'm into learning, but yeah, not right now. I'm not.
So you know
into
why I
it.
started, right? I started because someone told me, I read somewhere that the endorphins released are equal to doing like a monster line of cocaine. And then, I don't do cocaine anymore. And I'm like, maybe I'll feel so I've been doing them for about a week and a half, right? And just thinking about it right now kind of makes me excited, dude. It is like a drug, kind of, right? So I start with my regular shower, and then I'll just ease it up, and I'll just get it to, and so the science behind it is, right, your body thinks you're going through hypothermia, and so it does everything that it can. It's kind of like a marijuana plant, right? When you chop it, right, it just pushes everything out that it can back, and so you get flooded with these endorphin. It's like a fight or flight kind of thing, and you start breathing like I'm breathing like that, dude. And so I noticed that even before the cold water hits, my body is starting to freak out. And it's
Have you looked into the
fuck.
Wim Hof method, breathing method?
I know Wim Hof, and I'm a big fan. He's the same one. It's the brown fat that you're after. I believe in Wim Hof, and I've watched a couple of videos on him. You know, that one dude did the documentary with him when they did they're in swim trunks hiking the mountain barefoot. I believe those fuckers did. I know
it's not just the cold though. It's that breathing method. Yes. He has that. Yeah. Absolutely. I've actually thought about trying that shit, but I'm fucking afraid about. Yeah, man, it's so deep and so fast. Listen, it's like one of those things. Like, man, could I pass out in this method?
Yes, maybe. Yes, you could. But I think you can. But yeah, that's part of it. That's part of it. I think there's some incredible things that our body's capable of, and like I'm down to try it. You know, I'm obsessed with technology and everything that's going on that way, right? I mean, we won't go down the AI tunnel, but I get this TDLR news, which is like programmer news, and they always talking about like future shit. So, you know, like live forever. Right, they're stopping the death of the cell tail, right? So everything's made of cells, and cells have tails, and once the tail stops growing, that's when we age and start dying. And they're stopping the cells from. I mean, like, goddamn! And now it's just it's a beautiful and scary time to be alive, is it not? I'm happy where we are.
Yeah, for now, I'll save the fresh showers or the cold showers for fresh tattoo days.
Okay. So look, so there, let's talk that. So I was watching this video about, do you guys know about wasabi? Is this bullshit? Is this runners bring bottles of wasabi? Supposedly, after you drink wasabi for a relatively short amount of time, you can't feel pain or some shit. So it like tricks your brain into not feeling pain. So if you're hurting during a long run, then you drink a little wasabi. I'm like, why don't I bring that? Because I'm old. I'm getting old. I just turned 37. Like, I want more tattoos, but I'm worried about tattoo pain, dude. Like, I used to always be so messed up on drugs getting tattooed. I've only gotten one tattoo sober. It was very short and small. So I'm like, I'm concerned.
That's funny. I've been thinking about getting tattoos recently, but I don't have any.
Man, yeah, no, I'm good. Ink these days is really fucking good. It stands the test of time. Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as like the running thing, I've never heard of the wasabi, but running has been like my latest thing lately. I've been running fucking 5-6 miles a day.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that new? Have you ever been a runner, or is this brand new for you?
I've always played sports and been pretty fucking fit, you know what I mean? But fucking to just take running is like for a hobby, or you know what I mean? Fuck no, man.
No shit.
But yeah.
So look, I'm not going to call you out on age or nothing, but I heard as we get older, that kind of becomes a thing. I've always really, really, really hated running, Eagle. I've hated it, but I don't know. I
hate to say you're spot on about the getting older thing. Yeah, no, I ain't got no problem with it. I just turned 51.
And so now you're running and loving it.
Yeah.
If you're 51, that gives me a lot of fucking hope to when I get older, bud. Because geez, I mean, it's got to be the amount of weed you smoke. You could pay. You get that all the time, though. I mean, you look 40, 42.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I think it's the weed too. I honestly do. I've never been a huge. I quit drinking with my first kid, and then fucking nothing but weed since.
Just smoking weed, baby.
Yeah.
Homegrown, no, but the right weed, right? I think we always kind of have a little bit of a breakthrough, but I think that's a big part of it because, we talk about small batch and we talk about I think that's what's really popular. I really like the High Times article that just came out. Did you see that one about small batch and what it is and all the things they go into detail? People are paying $1,500 an ounce again, Eagle, for shit. I mean, that's insane for small batch cannabis, So I think we were onto something. I think we were onto something when we talked about it has to be consciously grown. It has to be grown with love and like people that see past it for profit, truly. And that can't be fudged, because I swear to God, I've grown pot for profit my whole life. But I told you, we talked about this before. So I started probably with ill intentions, and the weed has changed me into someone who cares, and I love helping, right? More than anything, and weeds allowed me to do that. And so now that is why we grow. It does support me and my family, but it allows me to do the things that I want to do because of that, right? That is weed. That is the healing factor in the cannabis. I swear, I bet you commercial weed is not even good for you. It's like, for real. There's so much of that in there. That's cool.
I agree. And I think that's what will bring back cannabis. That, and I honestly think some long-term sativas, because if you follow me on this, again, I've always been kind of market driven up until I really had to take on medical cannabis. So, quicker the flip, the better. Long-term sativas, long-term flower weren't even on the map. Why would I grow something that take twice as long and take up all the space when I could double flip a room in that same time? Just doesn't make any fucking sense. But I believe since the big swing in the market and the way it's fucking going right now, prices are going down. You're seeing people get out, or you're seeing people just going, fuck it, I'm just going to grow for myself. And at that point, when it becomes, fuck it, I'm just going to grow for myself, they're going to start throwing some of them long-term sativas in there, because it isn't necessarily a price factor. And then they're going to get together at these events and they're going to go, holy fuck, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? And then that's going to kind of pull it back a little bit.
Look deeper than that. Go ahead, Dalton.
Oh, I was just saying, if you go look at my Instagram story today, I got something. Yeah, it was like a 16-weeker. It's from my mom's homeland of Palau. She brought some seeds back. She brought some seeds back this past summer, like at 200 plus.
16-weeker.
Dude.
Bro, that's awesome. Okay, look. This is my take. You killed it with that, because this is why. Look, in the market we're in right now, right? The reason that I want to push small batch is because you're 100%. What's driving the market is truly, and I've listened to podcasts, I've listened to other people talk. What's driving market is price per pound, the cost that it takes to manufacture the cannabis. And not only that, but terpenes, flavor, and even the value of high is leaving what is driving cannabis, because THC numbers and what they show up and register as is what makes the cannabis worth more in the dispensary. If it's worth more, the growers grow it. That's all that matters. So it's turning this high THC, no flavor, no soul weed out into the market, forcing that in. As that comes into the spotlight, that is what we know is becoming the norm, right? So it's like, we don't even know that we're really like smoking this watered down shit, because it's happened over this time. This is what we all been forced. No one is growing anything longer than 63 days. So it's like, you give me a haze, you give me anything that's running long. And when you think about it, this kind of just made sense to me right now. How can a weed that takes 16 weeks to flower, how can it not have a deeper, high, a more complicated fucking profile. How can it not have more going on when it takes twice as long to finish? It takes twice as long to get to the end point. I mean, I forgot about sativas, dude. And god damn it, like I fucking love Blue Dream, dude. I've always been a gigantic Blue Dream fan. And I don't know. I think you're onto something. I think as people get known for quality, and this is where I'm trying to fit in, right? I try to provide you with weed that I think is the very, very best, no matter what. So it's like you come to me because you know that I can get the very best, or I have the very best. And it's not about, I mean, you're paying for that. You see what I'm saying? I don't care if it took me fucking 36 weeks to finish it. The value is there. And that's what's, I mean, fuck, aged bourbon, right? How long does that take? Fucking years to finish, and it sells for, so I love that, dude. Bring the sativas back. The haze, man. I really miss the hazes.
So Earthcare, tell me about the strain there, the 16-week or the seeds there.
Yeah.
Have you grown them out yet, or is it new?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, the one on my story is so all the beans came in this past summer, and there were so many, and I just wanted to dip into them. I took 10. I handpicked 10 of them that I wanted to pop, and I planted them, and I had them outside on a day in a clone dome. And I opened the clone dome, and it's just so hot in there, and I rookie mistake, and I'm like, man, I was worried if the beans, if it hurt the seeds, because I had germinated them in a towel. It took like 4 or 5 days for them to even crack open. So once they did, I potted them. And then from there, only one of them sprouted. And I was like, okay, well, we'll take it. And it ended up being a female. And so that's what we have. And it's just, I haven't flowered it out yet. The first cut, I ended up giving it away to someone. I vegged it out and gave it to a buddy. And he ran into bug issues and threw it away. And I was like, oh gosh, I was really looking forward to someone. I really looking forward to someone flowering it out. But I kind of felt like an asshole. Now I would do, because I didn't realize how long it takes. So finally, I had to cut. This was my few clones that I had in veg, and I flipped them at the beginning of February, I believe. And we're still all white hairs. It just it's finally got. It's just now making the nugs on the inside and frost and. But these seeds originated from, they come from my mother's side of her family, which is from an island called Palaliu, and it's from the country of Palau. Go ahead.
No, keep going.
Oh, I knew her brothers out there grew, and that was the first place when I was 18 when we flew out there. That was the first time I'd ever seen a plant. And I kind of had just started smoking at the time, and I remember smoking out there. Total Reggie, man, but I was loving it, But I knew they had seeds, and now I'm really getting into it. I was like, hey, see if you can get some seeds when you're out there this summer. And sure enough, she did. Allegedly. I'm not trying to get her in trouble.
Right.
But
that's what's up,
so yeah.
dude. So now you have it, and
like 200 plus beans. And this is just one female of 10 I pop, happen to be female. And it's vigorous, dude. It drinks like crazy.
How many weekends flower is it?
I think we're at I flipped February 1st. So what is that? February 1st, March 1st, April 1st. So 60 days.
So she's like, February, so what do you think she's halfway done?
She's at what, 70? What's today? She's at 71 days right now. So check my story.
I will.
So what's that? That's 10 weeks. Okay, maybe it's a 14-weeker. So she looks like she's probably got 4 weeks left on.
That's what's up, dude. Is it beasting, or is it stalled out? Is it still growing crazy?
No, it's just trying to dense now, dude. These sites were like baby, they're arms, dude. These are huge in 2-gallon pots. These are massive, bro.
That's awesome.
Just speared up all the way. I mean, some real Landrace shit.
I'm trying to grow some sour D.
Some sour D, yeah.
That's what makes me. Anytime I think about just big long spears, I don't know. For some reason I want to smoke sour D. But that sounds now I want to see those two reversed. I want to see you're going to have to fucking finish the 14-weeker out and then hit it to the TSA. I mean, you have to.
Yeah, TSA is really good at receiving pollen, so I could pop a bunch of those landrace seeds and find a male, or I could reverse that female I got right now. Dude, it's wicked. I don't know. I remember my mother explicitly talking about when she went back home this past summer. She was saying that, yeah, the weed over there, whenever I smoked it, I couldn't sit down. It was, it was like, gave me like, it was energy. I was like, that would be because that was pure landrace,
Racy,
pure
yeah,
sativa,
yeah.
Pure sativa. So I have my mentor has a clone going, and he's the one that grows in the RDWC. So that's going to be a show watching him smash one of those in there. It's interesting to grow. This is my first time growing it out, and I can't say I grew it properly. If you ask me, it almost seems like you could have fed it like a normal, like regular for the first 5 weeks,
That's what I don't understand. I don't even understand how to feed something that long, dude.
Me either. I don't know. We'd have to figure out.
You just gotta go balls to the wall the whole time, I guess.
Well, no, because then you get massive boost stakes, bro. If you're pushing your PK too soon,
So you don't believe in the natural fade, and I know you talked about it like, and as an additive to the phena there, but you don't believe in the natural plants fade. You know what I mean?
I mean, so I definitely do, but I was running into
senescence. I guess that's what you call it. Their proper term is senescence. You don't want the plant necessarily senesce.
Yeah, so it was just, I believe, like I went through a period of 6 months where they wouldn't finish no matter what. I mean, like I was running plants that I know finish in, 8 weeks and go purple. Like my pink runs always goes purple in 7 weeks, 8 weeks, and it just wasn't going purple. It wasn't finishing. The buds just kept going. And
I beg the question, it wasn't finished. You know what I mean? If it keeps going, is it necessarily finished?
No,
or
I'm
is
saying
it just,
I just don't think. I don't think I think it would have gone. It would have just kept going. You know what I mean? Like, it has to do. I think a big part of it had to do with how much nitrogen I was feeding it. I was feeding it too much nitrogen too late in flower, and it just made it keep growing instead of finishing. Crazy. I mean,
it's definitely a possibility. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
I mean, so look, the only reason that I say that is because I ran the pink runs. It finished. I ran it 3.0 too hard. It wouldn't finish. I used Athena's product called Fade. Fucking right back. Week 7, perfect for perfect blackleaf. Week 7. So it's to say I never thought I didn't think I could have such an impact on on these. But I swear the nitrogen, too much nitrogen too late in flower just causes they won't finish.
I definitely will agree. Pushing like some plants, indica mainly, too hard nitrogen later in flower will cause you problems, cause some nanners, cause some problems. But I've never seen so much as not finishing. But I think when we talk about products, we're playing God again. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We're trying to guide, and by that, you know what I mean? That's a product that, you're kind of like interfering. It might as well be a hormone or something else that you're adding. You're like, now, bitch. It's time to meet the calendar. Sorry, you know what I mean? The natural process is over. Where I believe that's natural senescence that we're talking about. You throw that same girl in the wild, and you could put her in a super nutrient dense, super soil. You know what I mean? Where it's high all the way through. Even afterwards, you
And
could throw
that's
another plant in there and run it again, be just fine. But that plant knows you let it go long enough, it will naturally shut off what it needs. It's like, I don't need that no more, no more of this. And it'll just start uptaking water. You don't flush nature. Why do you flush, a
right.
plant? So why not just take it? My opinion's always been like, hey, low, 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 always giving it, like in my mind, like say in the soil, it's always got that natural one set to it. It's not up, down, up, down, up, down. So eventually, yes, even indoors, even in cocoa, you can senesce a plant and without necessarily having to run a flush to it. And that's again, I've always kind of thought the flush to be, and I've heard a lot of other people say this, is like you see flush in a nutrient program, you should question that nutrient program because they foresee already buildup. You know what I mean? Yeah. Shit happening. So you should be using something that's more of a planned out base, or you're not going to have to worry about that shit. You shouldn't have to. Yeah. And these are all just my opinions. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I've ran, right. I've ran plants that I don't flush at all, zero flush, and they smoke great. They smoke absolutely great. I mean, it's more about how they smoke is more about the dry cure than anything else. I truly think. I mean, I just from experience, I've had weed that I flush. We used to flush a lot more. I don't ever flush. I just I bring it down to like a 1.5 or a 0.5 for a day or 2 days. But yeah, I mean, I've smoked super, super good weed that finishes, runoff at fucking high 5s, high 6, still good.
So let me ask you guys this, and this is again, there's 100 different ways to skin a cat, and everybody has different methods, but what are you looking at in a flower come harvest time? Are you looking at the trichomes? Are you looking at the hairs? What are you looking at that's saying, or are you looking at the calendar? That's what the matchbook said, fucking it's this. That's where I, know what I mean? So what
I don't ever look at trichomes. That's not true. I'll look at trichomes if like I was saying, it's something I'm noticing, something like that's not normal, right? So like I'll look at trichomes if I know you to be showing me purple and to be finishing at week 7, and we're at week 9 and you're not showing me anything, right? So I'll look at trichomes then. But yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're in your room every day looking at your plant, I can tell when they're finished. You can tell by looking at the plant if it's finished or not. I mean, right? Don't you think you can tell?
Yeah, I mean, I'll usually I'm not so much someone who looks at trichome color because I feel like me personally, sometimes with the way I push my light, my tops are going to be a little more cloudier, amber than the ones on the bottom.
They'll fade faster too, won't they?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, ultimately, I think I'm just looking at nug density. I'm feeling it with my fingers, and obviously the fade on the leaf. Of course, the day. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell,
right? Don't they start? They start looking like so. Like every day, the plant's gonna look a little bit better, and then you start seeing like plant decay, right? And it starts looking like this thing's dying, and then I don't know. I get to a point where
that can be right there. I think what you're talking about is underfeeding to where the plant is like, if you're seeing like a lot of yellowing, you know what I mean, when you shouldn't be, she just run out of gas. You know what I mean? She didn't even have enough to finish all the way, is what I think. And she's already, the neurosis, she's already started eating herself, as much as it can. So you start to see that yellowing. And again, that's just, my observations as a grower. That's what I've always thought anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't notice like curling, like dying leaves at the end, even if you're feeding it. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
these are not
yeah,
super
yeah, yeah.
leaves.
You're gonna, yeah, you'll see some yellowing, usually from the bottom up and start. You know what I mean? Of course, yeah. That's
Yeah,
her
she
natural
starts curling
senescence
over.
process.
They stop uptaking nutrients too. I mean, they're gonna start being like, you know what, we don't really want. They don't even drink as much at the end. You know what I mean? You can see, I can tell from my runoff bucket, like my runoff bucket will have, they're getting the same time feeding every day. And now all of a sudden I got
It's
2/3
been
of a
three to
full bucket.
5 days. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
so well. Anyway,
Yeah. There's a lot of ways to tell. I don't know. That's what I look at is like, I look to see that the plant no longer looks like it's improving, you know, it's like, it just looks like, okay. Um, the trichomes are no longer like truly stacking anymore. You know, it's yeah, enough of it. Like, so it started turning purple, and like maybe more than 3/4 of the plant's purple now, right? And it's not taking up as much food. It's usually it's usually at like day 63 around it. 63 is when it's going to start showing. I'll take them anywhere between 63 and 70 usually. You know, I used to go hard 63, but we don't push it. I don't push to such a schedule anymore. So it's like, yeah, we let them finish a little bit longer, maybe.
Mhm.
I think most plants that people say are 63-day finish, right? You could benefit from the extra 3-4 days. Always.
I would agree.
I definitely agree with everything you guys are saying. I definitely like that most people leave out the watering part. You know what I mean? When she does stop drinking, you know, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good sign in general right there.
The
It's good.
metabolism slowing down. Yeah, she's done, dude. Certain plant, you know, obviously certain plants will do it more than others, right? There's definitely plants that are just like, yeah, let's keep this show going. They'll just keep fucking, yeah. There's yeah, different ones do different things for sure. I've had plants that are just like fucking done. They don't even want to drink anymore at all. And they're just like, I'm fucking done. It's like, okay. Thug
Uh,
Pug gear does that. Thug Pug gear is fucking, it's a lot of it's pretty finicky. I don't know. Huh. You guys grow Thug Pug stuff at all?
a
I
very
haven't
few
know.
strains. Put myself there. The way I look at that finish, again, I'm kind of just trying to think of like the nature's process there, and so I believe in the natural senescence, but you got to look at what the plant's out there to do. What are them pistils out there for? Each one of them girls, each one of them pistils, each one of them hairs, which one of them calyxes are doing there for what? What is their purpose? They're out there reaching for pollen, right?
Pollen. Yeah,
That's the purpose of the plant. So for me,
absolutely.
I like to see when I'm calling that bud finish, it's not so much the trichome or whatever, because now you get people that want to put in, you know, the cure process. I'm going to harvest it early, but I'm going to throw it in a jar for a fucking year and let it degrade to let something that you could let it naturally senesce
Right,
in the plant do. You know what I
right.
mean? And it doesn't
Absolutely.
make any sense to me. So
No.
when I'm looking at my flower, I'm letting it most of those hairs turn, but more importantly, on top of each bud, as I see them hairs, and they're no longer, stout looking for that pollen as they fucking curl down
Right then.
to me. That to me says she knows there's no more pollen in the air. They're no more searching. You know what I mean? They're no more
Yeah.
stretching. That bud's, in its final stretch or its final days right there. So that's what for me, you know, that's
I
when
think
I
that's yeah,
think
I
it's
think that's
good.
great. I think um that's very so what did I just learn? That makes me think about more and more two things. One I just read, and I keep thinking about this when I'm in the room, right? Is I guess there's new studies that shows when you pluck a leaf off of a marijuana plant or any plant, it screams, but it's in an unverbal fucking tone to us, right? But it's like a shockwave essentially, and they've recorded it now. every time you pluck a leaf off that plant, it essentially screams a little louder, right? And here's what I think: bugs and insects hear that shit and they hear it screaming out. And what do? They come to regulate, right? So stress on the plant, it's screaming out. The bugs come in when you snap the branches. If you fucking over de-leaf, which is what we used to do, we don't do anymore. We do like a 10% strip instead of like a 90% strip like we used to. The plant is calling out, bro. It's screaming out. That's one thing that that we've been learning that's super cool. The other thing, and I'm talking with this guy, and I don't know, I can't, UC Davis, I believe. I don't know. I'm really obsessing with sensors, right? I really love media sensors. And this guy's got this sensor where in the soil, heat is created during like when roots grow and plants grow and shit, there's heat in there. So heat is generated from different sources, but one of the main sources of the heat is nitrogen, I guess. And so he's able to, with his sensor, detect the heat that is caused from nitrogen, or be able to tell how much nitrogen is in the soil and when it increases and decreases. So he's tracking nitrogen spikes in the media in order to understand how plants regulate it and use it, which is we're coming to a time where science and technology is shedding light on shit that, like ancient probably Indians have been doing forever, but would not knowing why, right? And I think that's awesome. There's so much of that is happening, and it's really cool. It's cool. The science behind it, very cool.
I would agree. But
So I was just wanting to throw out there. So I don't know what you're getting ready to say, but I was just getting ready to throw out there. I tried to stay light on the questions, even as I started. You were telling the story about the seeds. I was like, shit, I'm almost sorry I asked the question. But if you ain't had a chance, well, because I want to hear it from beginning to end. So some of this stuff, hopefully we go through again during your episode, my friend.
Yeah.
To finish. So, but it was a pleasure getting to talk with you tonight. You know what I mean? I did try to stay on the light side, so for the one-on-one, we could just go deep during your story there. If you haven't had a chance to check out the show, man, check out a couple episodes.
I'm going to
see what you're getting into, my friend. I think you'll have fun, my friend. I think you'll have a lot of fun during the spotlight.
It's just a bunch of guys like us, man. He has the best people on his shows. Eagles had some of the best people, the most influential people in the cannabis industry by far have been on the show. How many do you have? You got like 200. You got over 280 now. Or is it way more
brother,
than that?
This is episode 804.
Oh my!
I've been trying to keep.
Wow.
I've been trying to keep the Weed Nerd Worlds to like the point. So lately, in the beginning, my good friend, the American one, Tao, asked me how many of these you're gonna do. First, it was how often are you gonna do it? And I was like every day, and he's like every day, and I was like every day, and I stuck to that for a few good years. And then finally took a break. But then that conversation, he quoted me to 1,000 episodes. But in the meantime, as things progressed and I started doing the Weed Nerd Worlds as well, I've always kept the Weed Nerd Worlds as like point whatever. So lately it's been a little harder to resource some like good quality guests. So I kind of slowed down and I've done a little bit more Weed Nerd Worlds, but I'm inching closer and closer to that 1,000 mark. This is 804, right? So, so I'm like, there's been all the Weed Nerd Worlds are points. So it's like 804.1, 804.2. I'm trying to really drag it out and save the whole numbers for guests. They like tonight. Tonight was a whole number.
So look, we'll get him on here. Look, I got a pretty good Telegram group, and so everyone in this world that we live now, you got to have a Telegram. So most people only allow you; they don't allow anyone to talk. So ours is not like that. We're a true group. We have we have 260 members, but we have probably 7 or 8 really good growers from across the United States. That are all just like me that have been doing this a long time and probably have a bunch of really good stories. So if you want to have a couple of more of my guys on here, we'll talk. I'm sure they would love to be on there. I'm sure they're probably way more interesting than I am, Eagle. So
Oh no, man! I love hearing the stories, man. That's the point of this, man. Is the history of cannabis. It isn't like necessarily the breeders. You know what I mean? It's
so
the
many good ones.
growers. It's the people the runners. Everybody's has a crazy story or an influential stories, but it all makes up the fabric of cannabis. Why we use it? Well, you know what I mean? How it
Hell
heals.
yeah.
Why we
Hell yeah.
do what we do. And these stories need to be told just as much as all these little fucking facts that they're figured out in books. So, like, you know what I mean? As you talk about how scientific it's getting, all these great fucking stories of why the plant is what it is getting fucking left behind. So, man, I love hearing these stories. So, you know, guys,
you've had the best, man. I've heard so many good ones, and there's been so many good people on here. The people that I truly believe make the cannabis fucking industry what it is have been on here, man. And I'm so blessed to be a part of that. Now 2 episodes, and I hope to come back and be on again. It's so good to talk, man. I love talking cannabis. I love being on the show. I love what you do at fucking day in and day out. I can't believe fucking 800, dude. That is insane, man. It's so cool to be a part of that. So
I having to check in between the main episodes and the Weed Nerd Worlds, which again I gotta remind you, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with Earthcare. Their extracts here. Sorry, that's twice now I've stumbled on there. But you know, once you guys do these episodes, do not forget you gotta wait, Earthcare, until you do your episode. But Mr12n12, the Weed Nerd Worlds. Don't forget about the Weed Nerd Worlds.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So Mr12n12, Earthcare, this is how that works. Once you've done like the spotlight episode with me, then you're more than welcome to come hang out in what I call is the Weed Nerd World. So the Weed Nerd World is only open to past guests. And so where you'll find them guaranteed Monday nights at 9:00, Thursday nights at 9:00. The rest of the time, they're pretty much filler like they started out to be. But whenever you see a Weed Nerd World in the title, if you subscribe to the show and it fucking pops up and it says Weed Nerd World, you're fucking welcome. That you had, you know, the links there. You come join in. We talk about whatever. We talk about plants. We talk about growing. We talk about mushrooms. We talk about conspiracy shit. You never know what you're going to get in the Weed Nerd World. But
awesome.
This much, you know, is it is a Weed Nerd World. There's people from South Africa, Australia, fucking Germany, UK, Canada, fucking you name it. There's a Weed Nerd World there. And you never know when we're going to check in, who's going to pop in, and you know who adds what to the conversation. So
that sounds awesome.
Once you do your time, Mr12n12, you've already done yours. You're more than welcome anytime you see a Weed Nerd World. There may be one here tonight in a little bit. Earthcare extracts, Dylan, we'll do your episode and make your link good.
That works.
So, yeah. So basically, I'm getting ahead of myself, but this is what you're in for.
We really appreciate it.
Showtime.
Yes, sir.
When you do your spotlight, the time slot is, and this is how the Weed Nerd World got started. And it's
awesome.
So you had from 11:30 to 4:20 to tell me your story. If it takes that long, 100% to go that long. It doesn't have to go that long, but if it takes that long, I'm down to hang. You know what I mean? So if we do go short, that's when I do pick up with the Weed Nerd World and finish out the time slot that we have left off. So chance tonight, me taking a break and firing up the Weed Nerd World and walking it down to 420s, pretty fucking good. So that's what you look. That's why they were kind of random. They started out to be that time slot filler, but they became something. It became its own thing. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Hell yeah.
No, I imagine.
Looking
Look at
good,
that.
man. Healthy as shit.
This is day 10, day 11 flower. 6 HLG 600s. These are 4x4x2 on unit slabs with 0.5 drippers. And then I have a left row and a right row, and each row has its own grow link. Each row has its own solenoid independently feeding from the same res, but they feed whenever they want, 9 to 11 times per day. I love this room.
It looks good. Definitely on point there. What are we looking at?
This is Purple Milk and Glitter Bomb on the other side. That's Glitter Bomb and Purple Milk. I love them both. They're really, really nice. Great terps on them. Everyone's terp chase. So I love this space. We have this room, and then this one's gonna have the Oreos, or it's gonna have the apple fritter times the sherbet cake that we just got. I bugged Midmaster and Mobile J for the apple fritter times sherbet cake for I just memed it 15 times. And after memeing it a bunch, they're like, oh, we'll send it to you. So they opened it up. They sent me 30 of them and 28 of them popped. So I'm going to pheno hunt them in that room back there. And I'm just looking for gas. Hopefully there'll be some gas in there.
Right.
Thanks. What's the gas on that TSA there? Is it that they grab you on the face, or is it kind of a headband? What kind of gas?
Oh, what's the high?
Yeah.
What kind of high?
The gas. I would say it's not fuel. It's not fuel-y, but it is definitely gas. Man, it is kind of fucking hit you in the face gas. It is. It's like you smell it and it's like funk, like bam. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's almost a little sour almost when you smell a unit of it.
Yes, like a dirty sock.
Mm-hmm. It does have that.
Which I fucking love, man. And it's super, super white, like super thick trichomes, like triple, quadruple stack trichomes that are really good. The trichomes are incredible. It washes incredible. I washed it. We washed a bunch of the small buds, and it washed at 3%, but I had a lot of fan leaf in there, man. I did not separate fan leaf, and so I know she would have done probably a little better. So
right.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Eagle, I gotta get you some of the rosin pods we're doing. We're doing really, really nice. We were able to backdoor the Kung Fu manufacturer. And so the new rosin pods are ceramic bucket and no cotton coil at all ceramic bucket, low temps, 2.7 ohms, real smooth, real flavorful rosin pods. We do full grams of them. And I would love that. I want to get you a couple of the ones we just finished. They're really special.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that. It'd be really cool of you. Really cool.
Yeah, we get you some of those. Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna take off because I'm not done. I got more work to do, but it was awesome as always. I love being here, and it's like therapy for me. This is therapy for me, man. I just feel like I get to get shit off my chest and talk about. I don't know. it really, really feels good to be on the show and to talk and to be a part of what you do, Eagle. So thank you for having me again, like always, bud. Really
One
appreciate
last thing before you boys go or you guys go. I don't hate to call you guys boy. I know back in the day that'd be like
all
5
good for me,
words
man.
there and shit.
it.
But,
Couple
Oh,
good boys
boy.
over here.
so basically what I'm hoping to get from you guys, this one it'll be a little tougher, but hopefully this way you guys can put it down is I'm hoping for, hey, this is Mr12n12 Earthcare Earth extracts without fucking it up. That's why you're gonna say it.
Yeah, you're good. You're
We're
good.
on fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 804. That'd be awesome. Terrible cottonmouth, brother. That's
All
so
good.
embarrassing and
You're
rude,
on.
man.
Wait,
Oh, good.
you
So
want to
look,
say
look.
we're on talking shit with Eagle? That's
Well,
what we're on.
Yeah,
basically,
okay, so look, yeah,
we'll
I'll
let-
go, then you go, and then I'll say what episode is it? 804?
Yeah, fucking Talking Shit with
804.
804.
Yeah,
There you go.
Is
I
it
got you.
fucking
We can
talking
do it.
shit like with the F word?
Yeah, fuck
Fucking
yeah, it
talking
is.
shit with
Okay,
Eagle.
okay.
Are you gonna say it? You want to say it, Dalton?
Oh, I don't care. You can say it. No, you say it.
All right, so I'm gonna say my name. You say your name, then I'll say we're on episode 804 with fucking talking shit with Eagle. All right.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Run it, Eagle. Hi, I'm Mr12n12,
This is Dalton with Earthcare Extracts.
and you're on episode 804 with fucking talking shit with Eagle, guys. Welcome.
I've done a few multi-purpose episodes, and I've never seen I've husband and fucking wives that have never flown that fucking good before.
Hell yeah.
Cheers to you guys. That was
Hell
a
yeah.
fucking perfect soundbite first fucking time.
Yeah.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
do it. Let's fucking do
We
it.
know what we're doing. Dude, we'll go on we'll try to get some more people on here. We love being on here. We love you, Eagle. Me and Dalton are gonna take over the world with this shit, bro. I love it. I love having you. Thanks. Thank you, Dalton.
Well,
You're
thank
the
you
best.
guys, man, for you
Thank
coming
you.
and hanging
Yeah,
out
hell yeah.
tonight.
Looking
Really
forward to
appreciate
a
it.
future episode with you too. So I appreciate
Yeah,
everything
dude.
that you're gonna do for us too.
Hell yeah, just hit me
Eagle's
up
the
and
best.
we'll set up that day, my friend. For real.
Sounds good. That sounds
ASAP,
good.
we'll rock it out.
Yeah, man.
With
Thank
that being said, guys, thank you very much for hanging out tonight. That goes for you guys
course.
watching. If you guys do not forget the most important part of this, do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives.